I'm Brandon Spivey. Welcome back to the Markup Movie Podcast. I hate myself. Wait for this episode, Aaron.
Oh my goodness, Brandon.
Phones.
Well, Brandon probably is he's feeling bad because he chose this movie.
Not that it's bad. I don't feel it's a bad movie. I just remember it being better than what I watched last night.
Before we get into it, so it appears from what I'm reading, this is not really movie news, but I guess we can put a couple of the movie news banner up just for a little bit. So Super Bowl happened. In the Super Bowl, they did show several different trailers. Most notably, a teaser for Deadpool and Wolverine, which I didn't watch the actual trailer, but from the uh, teaser, I enjoyed it. But I was already pumped up for that movie.
How dare thee? He not watched the trailer and he watched the Super Bowl. I swear. What am I
Well,
gonna do with you?
There's a teaser where they showed, and then it says full trailers online.
Yeah, Andy, if you're watching, Andy sent me the link to it. I said, no, I can't watch this. And I will not. I will not watch.
Are you adopting my principle of not watching trailers?
I've been stuck with you for almost 5 years. Yes, I'm finally adapting. I'm tired of trailers. I don't want to watch trailers anymore.
Trailers ruin things. Now I did see the teaser for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought that the teaser looked good. It was in the Super Bowl commercial.
Can't do it.
But you watched a trailer. You watched.
I had to see one. I had to see one because I had to go watch Twisters. It's like, why did this sequel need to happen? Which, by the looks of it, doesn't look like a sequel. It looks more like a remake. But
I have a theory that it's not even a remake. I have a theory that it's a almost like a reboot, requel, maybe. In the sense of, I wonder if this guy is like would have been the son of Paxton or something. That kind of followed after his footsteps. I wonder if that's what we're getting. I don't know.
The cowboy hat throws me off, though.
Yeah. And then there's one thing also that kind of bugged me about it. Is it seems like that one character that they had in the passenger seat in one of the scenes, literally trying to be Philip Seymour Hoffman, like trying to be his character, like verbatim. We have, sounds like him. So,
here's the problem with this film that's come. It looks entertaining. I'm not going to say it looks awful or nothing. It looks entertaining.
Like a good popcorn flick.
Yeah, but it's not going to be Twister. You're not going to get the realism that Twister was. You're not going to get the characters you got in Twister. It's not just Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. It was everybody was so good in that movie, including Philip Seymour Hoffman. But everybody felt like a real person in that movie. Even Carrie, who was like Bill Paxton's nemesis, and just trying to steal. Was it Dorothy? He pretty much copied that. Yeah. I feel like you're going to get that again because Dorothy's back. I think it's going to be entertaining, but it's not. I'm going in with low expectations. This will not be Twister.
I agree.
Like Twister's sister or adopted, whatever. It's not going to be that movie. It's going to be the best tornado movie since Twister, I believe, but it won't be Twister.
Now I did watch the trailer for Wicked, the movie starring Cynthia Erivo as the Wicked Witch of the West. It's like it's the big screen adaptation of the musical, which Brandon knows I'm a huge Wizard of Oz mark. I love Wizard of Oz, so I'd be interested to see that. I'm not big on musicals, but I'd be interested to see a different take on the Wizard of Oz story.
So. Yeah, I know a little bit about this because of my ex. She was a massive fan. She owns all the books, or how many ever there are. Maybe it's just one. I don't really know. I just know she had everything, Wizard of Oz, in book form. So yeah, I didn't watch the trailer. So, but I am like you. I'm curious to see. I love Wizard of Oz. By the way, just want to throw that out there. It was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, so I have much love for it. I'm curious to see how this plays out, though. It's got Jeff Goldblum, so I'm there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, as the wizard, so it's pretty awesome. Also, want to throw this out there. Two more things. A Quiet Place Day One. So there's a trailer for.
Did you watch?
I didn't really. I seen like a little bit of the trailer, but I try to avoid it. I've seen a little bit of the teaser and stuff, like when things are happening. It's kind of. But it seems interesting. I don't. But also at the same time, I don't really see a big need.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna be like this. I just knew it.
I know. I feel like because we already know what happened on day one from literally Quiet Place Two. The whole code open was day one of the attack.
Perhaps you just need to look at it from this point of view. You're getting more of a Quiet Place.
Yeah,
you're getting more of these monsters.
And it'd be interesting to hear see somebody else's story. And I thought that's what they would do, kind of like what Walking Dead has done, as far as like showing different people's experience with the dead. You know what I'm saying? This is other people's experience with the.
Yeah, you brought up Walking Dead, and I have to say this: Quiet Place Part 2 reminded me of an episode of Walking Dead in earlier years, earlier seasons.
Farmhouse years.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from it. I liked it, but it felt like an episode from Walking Dead, and I'm cool with that. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do more films. I'm cool with it. You're gonna do prequels. Let's just do more spinoffs. I mean, let's become The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And then
I'm all for it though. I don't care. I mean, I love the monsters. I love the story, so I'm there for it.
And then I wanted to talk to you about before we segue into the film today. Real quick, I mentioned that right before we started shooting, going live, that I haven't seen the trailer, but the new trailer for X-Men '97 is out now. I was fond of the show back in '95. I think it was the '95, '94. Well, I remember like back 90s. Yeah. Hey, Bilfer.
Bilfer, how you doing?
What's up, bud?
I'm energetic today.
I was a fan of the original, so I'd be interested to see kind of like this take on it. But before I watch it, I will try my best to go back and watch the actual X-Men show from back then.
In your benefit here, it will not be going back to revisit Star Trek, so you're already going to like this.
Gave up on Star Trek.
I know you did.
I got to admit it now. I would not be revisiting.
I mean, you got further than I did.
Yeah, you gave up the movies.
I watched 1.5 movie. I think maybe 2.5.
You didn't even watch the one I wanted you to watch, which was the Search for Spock. I thought that was the most fun one. I saw Madam Web. Oof, what a mess. That's another segue I was going to get into. I was going to ask Brandon because it appears that I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and it looks like both the Bob Marley biopic, One Love, and Madam Web is both got like Madam Web has completely negative reviews. Bob Marley, it has positive. One review is kind of positive, but most of it's not really. It's still low. But Madam Web is being bashed by both.
Yeah, I didn't see the Bob Marley critics scores or nothing, but I did see Web, and it's to be. Come on, it's Sony. It's to be expected.
Someone
Why are they still making movies? Besides,
somebody said Morbius was better.
Oh my god,
Morbius. Somebody said Morbius.
And that was literally the worst Sony picture film I have ever seen, coming from the Spider-Verse. I don't know what their problem is. They hit when it's animation, but live action, since the Toby films, they just suck.
Honestly, the only ones that I think that they've done okay with is the Venom stuff. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But they're not great, though. I mean, they're serviceable, but they're not. They're not. Well,
They're not Marvel, and they're not.
Marvel's not Marvel
Yeah.
anymore.
And,
Maybe but
yeah,
comic book
yeah.
movies are just, they're drowning. I mean, people are getting
Well,
tired of it.
do you think what the big difference with say Madam Web and the other like little Venoms and stuff like that is because with with um with the Spider-Man movies, Marvel Studios is quarterbacking it, which
Yes.
makes it different.
Yeah, it makes all the difference. Like I said, the only thing they've really done well is the animated films of Spider-Man. And I don't
Hmm.
understand why they can't get it right live action. Like, what's the problem? You're trying to create this, not multiverse, but you're trying to create this big cinematic verse with your Spider-Man characters. Yet you don't have, as far as I know, you don't have Spider-Man in any of these movies. Bilfer could tell me if he shows up in this one. I would imagine it would be Andrew Garfield if he does, but
Wonder if
hopefully
he
he
gets
doesn't.
Bilfer. That's spoil it for me. If he
I'm
does,
just saying, up to this point, there's been no Spider-Man in
yeah,
this Spider-Verse.
yeah.
I thought it was a stupid idea when they announced it. It's showing it's stupid, it's dumb, and yeah, I don't know. I want to see this movie, but I think I'll just wait till it hits streaming now.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel. Yeah, and I was thinking about this literally just was it yesterday. I was looking at the amount of movies that we've reviewed and the amount of movies that did he spoil it for me.
He says they want a Sinister Six movie. They need to bring Spider-Man in for that, but
Okay.
it's gonna be sinister, all right.
Thank you, Bill, for being polite and not spoiling things for me. But I was gonna say, well, I was thinking about this because you said you gotta wait for streaming. And I was thinking, I was like, literally, if I'm trying to still be a part of the film critics association, I've done a terrible job. I haven't went out to watch any movies, and then I have to get some knocked out by July, like
Well,
12 of
to your
them.
defense, there's
Huh?
there's really nothing that's came out that's probably worth watching except for Beekeeper. That's the
Yeah.
best movie I've seen this year. Beekeeper.
And I was actually, I think I'm gonna try to watch that this weekend, like via just buy it. And is it worth the purchase?
I'm gonna buy it
Okay,
if that
yeah.
tells you anything.
Then I would probably watch the Book of Clarence too. I don't really want.
That's a hard pass for me.
I don't really want to. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't want to see it. But just kind of get those reviews in. I figure I'll watch it. But anyway, um, let me go ahead and get to.
Well, I got one
Uh,
more thing.
yeah, yes, sir.
I got one more thing. I got one thing. I just saw it before you sent me the link. It's pretty much a remake, I guess. They're doing a movie with Ron Phillippe, Emily Hirsch, and Mina Savari called Prey, but it's basically Beast. Idris Elba. Did I get his name right? I always
Yeah,
struggle. It's basically that. It's with his lion that attacks these people. What do you think of them ripping off Beast? I know you didn't like the movie, but what do you think? It's
I
literally the only
think.
thing I've seen movie news
Uh,
wise.
yeah, I don't know. Oh, I will say one more thing. I don't know about that. I just think it's a dumb idea because I didn't really like Prey
Yeah,
or whatever. But
Beast.
Beast or whatever it
Yeah,
was. I didn't
this
like
is called Prey.
um,
Same
but I will
concept though.
say I did see a little bit of the teaser of because they keep showing it of what is it of Roadhouse, and I'm actually interested. I'm very interested in it.
Really,
I think I like Jake Gyllenhaal,
I
and
do
so
too.
I think he'll do an excellent job. He would be believable as this as Castle. Is that the guy's name in the movie? Is he
I
playing?
haven't actually watched the whole trailer. I kind of cut it off
He's
because
gonna be playing the same.
once they put MMA in it, I just like no, I'm not interested. You know,
Oh, okay. So I didn't even know that. I didn't even watch that part of it.
yeah, I saw the MMA in the trailer and I was like, no, I'm cutting this off. This isn't Roadhouse.
Just later,
But
which he did an MMA movie before. So
yeah, I will watch it because it's going to be a 2024 release, but I'm not excited for it. but I think Jake's going to be great in the role. I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to be Patrick Swayze great, and they don't have a Sam Elliott type character that I saw in the trailer. What I did watch, it just didn't feel like Roadhouse to me.
We say this a lot. I think Hollywood has lost its mark. But
They're afraid to do anything original, really. The movies they do bomb, so they go back. What was popular in the 80s, 90s?
Horror is the only thing that kind of does okay originally.
Yeah.
You think about X, you think about those films.
Yeah.
They actually did pretty good, but yeah, it's rare. It's a rarity. Well, Everything Everywhere All at Once was like that doesn't happen often. That something like that so bizarre would be so successful.
And win Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often.
Lone Star, the movie, 1996. When a skeleton of his murdered predecessor is found, Sheriff Deeds unearths many other long-buried secrets in his Texas border town. Starring Chris Cooper, who eats up the screen, I would say, in the film.
He does. He's good. I mean, it's just I wanted more Matthew McConaughey and Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, at first, and I'm going to get to it. Also, Elizabeth Pena, Stephen Mendello, Stephen Lang, Oni Fada Lampley. There's other people. The lady that's she's in Grey's Anatomy. She's been in there for a long time. Of course, Matthew McConaughey's in it, and Chris Christopherson as well. Joe Morton.
Love him.
Who, is famous for his Terminator films. He's such a great actor as well.
Yeah.
Just always, I love seeing him show up and stuff. You don't see him as much these days. He was in, he did do Scandal. He showed up as Olivia Pope's father, and he was very scandalous in that show, which,
I would imagine a lot of people would be for Scandal.
Latonya Richard Jackson, who is, I think, Samuel Jackson's wife. She's in this movie as well.
She plays. I think I know who you're talking about.
Sergeant lady or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, right. And then Ryan Canada. Chandler Wilson, but Ryan Canada, real quick. Ryan Canada is the man. Every time I see him, I will never not think about him being in Adventures in Babysitting. I don't care what he does in life. He's gonna always be one of the bad guys, one of the henchmen in Adventures in Babysitting. As long as I know him.
Okay. Who's he playing this?
He played Otis. Otis.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
he was in Adventures in Babysitting?
Yeah, he was one of the henchmen chasing the kids through the city.
I need to rewatch that. I don't remember him in that.
Yeah, that's him. But
here's my problem with this movie, though.
Uh-huh.
I felt like it wanted to give too much screen time to the people in present day over what happened in the past, and which is what the main story is about: figuring out who this body is, who did the killing, and I felt, man, they had something with Matthew and Chris Christopherson in this movie. They were on screen, man. It was magic, especially with Chris. I loved him in this movie. As a kid, I thought he was in it more. That's why I was so excited to revisit this movie, because Chris was he's a very villainous character in this movie, and he's so good at it. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say this about this film. This is one thing. A positive about it is I thought it had really great transitions from the past to the present and from the present to the past. Yeah. I think those transitions was really fluent and seamless, and I thought I noticed them. I noticed the transitions, and I thought, man, these are some really nice transitions. And some really good camera work in some scenes.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. Now, I will say that it had pacing issues. I think the
Hmm.
pacing was it's a very slow burn. Um, but I agree with you. I was confused at first though, because when you see when I see Matthew McConaughey, I was like, oh, Matthew's in this movie, and I'm like, I'm in. That's my first thought is, and then Chris Christopherson's in this. I'm like, they're working together like against each. I would love to see that. Like that by itself, that movie by itself would be a great movie.
Yeah.
Uh, but then it flashed to like Chris Cooper, and which I like Chris. He's never been one of my favorite actors. But I'm not saying he's bad. He's just never been one guy like if I see him in something, I'm like, oh, I'm here to watch
He
him.
he's never the star,
Yeah,
and
no,
he is
it's
here.
the first time starring it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think this is the only movie I've ever seen him where he's a star.
yeah, but he's an excellent actor. Let me just say that. I don't want to take
Yeah.
anything away from his ability or Elizabeth Pena. It's just I feel like the movie, the pacing, like I was
Yeah.
checked out most of it because the pacing, but I was checked in long enough to see transitions. Whenever he's questioning people about certain things, I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I agree with you. I agree 100% on all that, actually. But I did like Elizabeth Pena in this movie. I thought her and Chris Cooper's character, they had chemistry. And I gotta admit, the ending I forgot all about. I forgot that twist. I was like, and the fact they still was willing to go there. It's like, yeah, but we'll get there.
you
But
know,
it was
uh,
just I forgot all
yeah.
about it.
Now I will say this: this movie came out the same year as Fargo, which is another murder mystery
That's
type of
much better.
who done it, huh?
That's much better.
And have you seen Fargo
I once.
'96?
It was much
Weird
like
Late Space.
I originally
It's
I had them at the same level, but now revisiting this, it's Fargo's up here. About right
yeah,
there.
no, it's not even in the same category.
No,
I
they're
just
not.
like Fargo, and it's funny because me watching this movie, I almost chose Fargo next week just to kind of compare and contrast the two. Because I was like, Fargo is, and I might do that because I don't know, we'll see. But because Fargo is, it just shows you if you tighten up a script, if you tighten up, if you have like both movies have a great cast of characters acting in it or
They
whatever.
do.
But the difference
They
is
do.
Fargo is such a tighter script, uh, and the characters are so much more interesting. Um, and it's just a much better film. Uh, but not saying that this film isn't. It has moments, but it's
Hmm.
the moments are few and far between.
I agree.
Uh, yeah,
That's what I felt watching it last night. I was just like, "Man, this is not what I remembered as a 13-year-old child or teenager. Probably I shouldn't have been watching it at 13, maybe.
no,
I don't
right,
but I remember it was on Stars one day and I just got it. It was my first time seeing Matthew McConaughey, I do believe. And I love Chris Christopherson even back then. So I was just seeing those two work together and in the late 50s, man, they just carried the screen. I mean, they had a presence, which I felt a lot of people in the present day didn't have much presence. Now, I did really like the older two guys when they first bring up Chris's character. I forget. He's not Buddy. He's his son, but they're like he's not a very good sheriff. He does. He's not his dad. His dad's a legend and all that. I love their presence in the movie, but they're not in it very much. But I don't know. It's just I didn't really care about what was going on with in the school or and his son. I
yeah,
just didn't care much about that aspect to the movie as I did what really happened in the late 50s with Matthew and Chris.
And I will say also something that took me out. I love Joe Morton. I've been seeing this man since Homeboy from Outer Space, I think, or whatever that movie was, like back in the day.
Hmm.
That he did like a little independent film where he played like an alien essentially. It's
Never
really
seen
good.
it.
Oh man, it's from back in I say it's back in the early '80s. This predates I think Terminator. Uh, his role in this film. Uh, but so I've been aware of him, and then to see the guy that plays his father, seen him in the '80s as well in Adventures in Babysitting. That's how I knew the guy. So well, it takes me out of it. My point is this: it takes me out of it when Joe shows up as this guy's son, and I'm thinking they the same age. That's what I was thinking the whole time. He's like, "Well, that's my son." I was like, "Oh, you just cast Joe because he's probably the best one for the role." But the believability is out the window because I know Joe would have been the same age as that guy, and I just looked it up. I'm like, "Yeah, they do." Literally, the guy that plays his father, Ron Canada, is like 7 years. I think 7 years. Not even 7 years. Actually, he might even be younger than him because Joe
Really?
Morton was born in 1947, and let me go back to it. And Ron Canada was born. No, he's no. Ron Canada was born in 1949. So Joe is literally younger than him by like a couple of years.
Well,
So
I mean, that's a good point. Um, I guess they did the casting that way because he looks younger.
yeah,
But it's not that he looked like he don't look 20 years younger. He looks maybe 5, 10 years younger. It's the
yeah,
gray hair that makes him look younger. I mean, his the guy you're talking about from Adventures Babysitter had gray hair.
mhm.
So he obviously looks older, but in the face wise, it's not much difference in age, so I wasn't buying that was his son.
Yeah.
I wasn't even buying it that was his grandson. Because his
No,
grandson
I,
looks
I would
like
have made it
he's about
his
25.
brother, if anything. It would have been more believable if this was like
Yeah.
a lost brother or something.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I just thought that little story arc took away from what the actual movie was supposed to be about. And it's not just with that. I mean, they were playing politics with schools. Uh, I did like one aspect of that. Oh, they brought in racism with the Spanish people, the black people, the whites. All have to really coexist, and they really don't want to. So I did like that little bit of aspect to it, but it just kind of took away from what the actual story was about.
Yeah, I would also say this that like I did say that the first twist for me in the movie came about with the lady who played I guess Mercedes Cruz. Uh, the twist where she was actually an immigrant
Yeah.
who came over as well. But it's the twist in that is that she's so blatant about patrolling the border essentially,
Hmm.
to make sure that people don't cross in illegally, even though she herself crossed in illegally. Um, and so I thought that was a twist. But of course, the biggest twist in this movie, and I was like, oh, so they so that I was, and the whole time I was like, why did Brandon choose this? What's going on with Brandon?
Yeah,
What's his story?
I completely forgot about that twist.
Yeah, so
To be honest.
share with the people the twist.
All right,
Also,
so
before you do that, so they find a skull in a valley. They kind of find out the skull belonged to the murdered uh, sheriff, a really corrupt sheriff played by Chris
mhm.
Christopherson, Charlie Wade, who was a very corrupt sheriff. But the sheriff that was the better of the sheriff, the town hero, was Buddy D, um, played by Matthew McConaughey. Um, and so he's famous. He's known as this great chef. But so Sam, Chris Cooper, sets out to find out what happened. Why is Charlie buried in the field somewhere, buried in
Yeah.
the valley somewhere, in a grave? And so that's what they try to go to find out. And he starts to trace, like ask questions and trace steps or whatever to kind of come to the conclusion that uh, Charlie, Chris Christopherson, who's an excellent actor too. People don't give him credit as an
Oh, he was great.
actor.
He really
He
was.
is a very racist, openly, blatantly racist, blatantly corrupt uh, sheriff
He
who
was.
who has strong armed the black community to look the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
paying him to do things like that. And so he took it upon himself to like he was gonna. It seems like he was gonna go ahead and kill um, Ron Canada's character when he was younger.
Yeah.
Uh, but in to kind of prevent that, because this guy has already seen Charlie kill another guy in cold blood, who turned out to be the boyfriend of Mercedes.
Yep.
And so that explains why Mercedes hates immigrants, because the guy died trying to get other people to cross over to America. So that's why she stops that now. Is that what you get?
Yeah, that's what I got. But and like Charlie is he's such a good villainous character. You just
Very believable.
yeah, very, very, very believable. And you want to see him get his justice because it's going to come. You want more of that, and they didn't give us that. But in the scenes they did do it, it was great. Him and Matthew worked well together. Um, I just wish they would have focused more. I like the actor that played young Otis. I thought he was good. Um, but yeah, but when Chris Cooper's character Sam is investigating all this, he also comes across that his dad had another woman on the side, and it turned out it was Mercedes. And
Before we get there, real quick, I just want to
okay,
point out one more thing. Tony Plana is in this movie as well. He played one of the sheriff deputies, Ray. He's a famous actor through the '80s as well. A Hispanic actor. He played in a lot of different things. Most famously, Three Amigos as Jefe. Uh, uh, Opposite Chevy Chase, uh, not Bill Murray, Steve Martin, and oh, Pauly Shore. But yeah, he played in that film. But I wanted to mention one thing about his character in this movie is Ray, and it's kind of parallels Mercedes, because you see Mercedes essentially showing hatred towards her own kind, her own people, simply by like stopping them from immigrating in.
yeah,
But you see it with Tony, or not Tony, Tony's character Ray, who's a sheriff deputy or whatever. But he's very openly racist towards black guys, and like the black, and it's like almost like playing up that I'm a sheriff, and this badge makes me parallel with my white officers. That's what I got from his character. So I was gonna get your take on that.
yeah. He thought the badge, gave him a little more rights. He treat people however he wanted to treat them and get by with it. So I agree with you on that. But um, to what you wanted me to answer, the twist.
Hmm.
Look, I forgot about this twist because I was just focused on the murder mystery of Charlie Wade. God, that's what I was focused on when I picked this. So I actually forgot about this little love. It's not a triangle, but it kind of becomes like a love square that Buddy and Mercedes are trying to stop these two people from being together at a young age. You don't really know why, but as it turns out, Buddy had an affair with Mercedes, and he's the father of this girl. and Sam. And there's a love scene in this movie between them two, and they fight. They figure it out that it's his half sister, and they still want to be together, man.
Yeah,
How messed up is that? How messed up is that?
is
Like
definitely
they
the
just they just want to wipe it under the rug, and it's like we can still be together, And I was like, no, you can't. It's wrong on so many levels. And we live in Kentucky, and it's wrong. Okay.
it's never right. There's no right. There's never a right for that. But yeah, so yeah, my jaw was dropped, and I was looking around like, what? I'm like, and I'm thinking, is this why Brandon chose this? Why did
Do
Brandon
you
choose this?
think I would choose the movie for that purpose?
Man, I don't know, Brandon.
Come
That's the
on.
twist.
Come
The
on.
twist
Come
is
on.
they decide, oh, well,
Yeah, if
ain't
I was
nobody
gonna
we brothers and sisters, but still do what we do.
if I was gonna pick something like that with a twist like that, it'd probably be O Dog. I think it's what it's called.
Oh well, that's a beautiful movie though. But yeah,
That's
like beautifully violent.
no, Bill Fur, let's not go.
But Bill Frisell, let's go, Brandon. That's hilarious. Um, but yeah, no, that's the twist of this film is that yeah, so the daddy, old Matthew McConaughey, got on with Mercedes, and they had a baby, which was Pilar, and Pilar and Sam, brothers and sisters, and they still want to be more than that.
Yeah, they do.
All right, yeah, give you a star or your rating.
Well, we do find out who killed Charlie. Was that
Yeah.
surprising to you? Now, at age 13, that was surprising to me because I was expecting it to be Buddy, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't surprising when it was going down. The kind of the way it was shot, it, it tells me that that's what was going to happen. And I can understand why because, like I said, he just witnessed uh, Charlie murdering another guy earlier within the film in another flashback, and so it's just he he does he's not a corrupt he's not a corrupt officer as
Yeah,
corrupt an officer as Charlie was, you know.
yeah.
But they all decide between I think it's the name, uh, Charlie and is it Hollis?
I think so. I think his last name is
Yeah.
Hobbs.
Uh, between them three, they decided to bury the body and act like he never existed. Essentially, it is a young Matthew McConaughey in the sense of he was fresh off of I would say a Time to Kill, not Time to Kill, but was it called Time to Kill?
He did this the same year, yeah, I
Yeah,
believe.
and then like '99, like or I guess '98, '99. That's when he got Frequency, not Frequency, but Frailty.
Yeah,
Um,
99 was Frailty, 98 was Ed TV.
yeah,
So,
'93 was a Days and Confused. I think '93,
yeah, yeah, it
yeah,
was his
something.
very first.
Yeah, so he was kind of. Oh, let's not forget Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation. That's often that too. For him, Renee Zellweger, they probably try to bury that memory. I think he talks about it now a little bit more than he
Yeah,
did. But
he's embraced it now.
yeah,
It's like humble beginnings for him.
yeah.
So,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
but you can look at this movie though. I will say this: you can look at this movie with these other people, with Matthew, who is brand spanking new at the time, really, and you can see that this guy had the it factor. That this guy was going to become
oh yeah,
Hugh McConaughey. You know, he's going to
yeah.
become. Um, so
He
yeah,
was, yeah, he had greatness in this for the
he had.
little time he
Yeah.
is in it,
Mhm.
which have been so much better. It'd been so much better if it was more about the past than the present. It
Mm-hmm.
really would have. But you wanted to get the scores. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's a decent film. I just thought it kind of loses its focus on what the main objective is.
Mm.
To me, it did anyway. I don't know if that's how you felt about it, that it kind of lost focus on what it was actually supposed to be telling. But for me, it did. It kind of lost focus, and it's got its moments where it's great, but it's also got a lot of moments where it's kind of subpar.
Yeah.
But I felt it was still decent enough, to give it a 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give this movie 2.5 stars. 2.5 markouts out of 5. Uh, because so Bilford, have you seen this film before? He
I'm
said he'd give
assuming.
it 3.75 out of 5. So, um, which is not bad. It's pretty fresh score actually. But yeah,
Yeah.
I give it the 2.5 markouts out of 5. Um, because of the pacing. The story by itself isn't a bad story, but the pacing makes it suffer more. There was things that wasn't necessary. The shooting or whatever, or stabbing, whatever happened at the very beginning of the movie in the club was unnecessary. I guess it's the way to get his son back in, Adele. But also there was an unnecessary storyline too. There's no reason for that to be a storyline. Not to say that Joe Morton, he was great in the movie. It was just an unneeded role. You know what I'm saying? The whole storyline was not necessary. You could because you still had Otis uh,
Yeah.
in this because he had to go to the bar for some reason to investigate it because that's where they used to hang out. They got words of it. You could have brought uh, Joe Morton in there as far as like maybe the grounds in which his body was found was the former uh, base, maybe for where the army was or wherever that fort was, and maybe or training where they used to do training stuff, and that's what brought him into town to investigate it because somebody was on that premise, and he had to cross the dot the cross the T's and dot the I's essentially. So that's why you would have brought him in there if you needed to bring him in there. But
Yeah.
I think that whole storyline could have been cut, and it could have been cut down. Yeah, this movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's way too long.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was too long. So I was like, it's a slow burn. Too slow in my opinion. But I really did like the past though. That's the high point for me.
John Sayles, the guy that directed this film, also and wrote this film, wrote did the screenplay for Eight Men Out. The movie that I was saying about, Brother from Another Planet, is what it was. It came out in 1984, uh, starring also Joe Morton in the film as an alien. Um, Men with Guns, The Alienist. He's done some other things, but and most recently, like he did Spiderwick Chronicles screenplay, which was a pretty terrible film as well. So
I've
he
never seen it.
yeah, I mean, just like it looks like a lot of his stuff. He did the original screenplay for Piranha, 1995. Men of War, a screenplay, 1994.
That's Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I will go ahead and venture to say that he's not that stellar of a screenwriter. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. But no, maybe he is a good screenwriter, but just in directing, not so much. And that could be the case too. You see people that's really good at one thing and they try to dip their toes in something else,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't pan out for them. But nothing against them trying because it's okay to try, you know.
Yeah.
What is next week's movie? All right, so next week's movie, a good segue, Bilford. You should be the third man in here. Um, the next movie will be. I'm gonna get back to it, so I want to make sure I get the name right. It's It's on Peacock. It's a Peacock original film. It's called Bosco, which is like a guy that tries to break out of prison in order to, in time to. In 2006, Quante Bosco Adams plans and Gene's escape from federal maximum security prison for a chance to be at his first child's birth. So,
who's in this movie?
um, unfortunately, Tyrese Gibson is
Oh,
Tooting.
Tyrese.
Yeah. Nikki Blonsky is Tammy. Aubrey Joseph is Quante Adams. And Vivica A. Fox is Willa. The Aubrey guy, I'm trying to see if there's anything he's been in. No, I don't know this guy. He's in Run All Night in 2015.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah. He's also in Fading Gigolo. I don't know what that is. Anyway, he was in some things.
I don't know.
Nobody. It'd be interesting to see. I want to choose a 2024 movie. I was full disclosure, Bilfer and Brandon is between that, The Ventures and Babysitting, because I kind of really want to revisit it, but I don't remember if we watched it already on here. Fargo, and then also lastly, Akira, because I like Akira. I've seen I've been trying to get into anime, and I watched the animated movie like a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. If I watched the English dub, I was gonna be interested to go back and watch they have the actual Japanese version, and I was watch that. What did Biffer say? Ooh, Akira, yeah. So if you choose it in the future, Biffer, we will do it. Just want you to know that. No pressure, buddy.
You got a smile that needs to be surgically removed. You so desperately want to get me to watch anime?
Yeah,
just anime, right?
And speaking of, I can go ahead and take down this banner now. Yeah, I've been watching, like I've been going back because I finished. So for Black History Month, for Black History Month, I watched. Let's see, I watched Roots, the remake of the Roots series, came out several years ago, and it was okay. It was they made it more authentic as far as like historically accurate with some things.
Yep.
I also watched. I've been watching Genius with about Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, which it's been a very interesting show. And then I watched just coming back. I watched Wonder Years, the remake of Wonder Years, which I watched both the 2 seasons. It ended. It just ended essentially. Which I don't like that, but that's okay. And then I started watching again Abbott Elementary again because Quinta wrote and kind of created that show. But yeah, but I was kind of thinking, well, where can I go after this? And I was like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? Get back into anime. So with that being said, I really started getting back into One Punch Man. Started watching that again. Picked up where I left off on that. I've been trying to get into Attack on Titan. I'm not really feeling it like everybody else is feeling it. Chainsaw Man seems interesting. I just didn't really watch it.
I know Chainsaw Sally.
There's another show that's on Netflix which is really interesting. I like so far. But I'm gonna go and finish One Punch Man, then I'm gonna move on from it. But then My Hero Academia as well. But the show that's on Netflix that I watch is I don't know. It's like Ridoro something like that. It's about like I think it literally means the red door or something. Ridoro. Let me see. I thought I could find it.
Oh my goodness.
But it's like I can't find it, but it's like an animated show. It's an anime, but it's very interesting. It's about like uh, a world, like a dystopian type of world, where these people, like you have like wizards or whatever, sorcerers that
Hmm.
live in this one place where there's doors, all these doors, but you can't really go through the doors unless you like a sorcerer. But in this one world, people are like, it's I guess they're trying to hunt him and kill him. Which one guy's trying to kill him because he's trying to find out who cursed him to make him I think he's an alligator man. I don't know what the heck he is. If I had a chance for Black History Month, I would pick Red Tail 2012. Uh, a choice rather. I've never seen that movie. I've never seen Red Tail. Brandon, did you ever watch that?
I have never seen it. Honestly, I haven't. Is that with Lawrence Fishburne?
No,
As
that's
a
the
pilot.
Sea.
Okay. I guess I don't know what it is then.
Uh, Red Tail has let's see.
Is Cuba
Um,
in it? Cuba Gooding Jr. in it?
no, bro. Yeah, you're right. Cuba is. My bad. Yeah, Cuba is in it. I thought I was thinking of a different movie. I guess. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it.
Correcting me when I'm right. I swear.
Drew McRaney, David Oyelowo, Andre Royo, Terrence Howard is in it when he dropped the third. Nate Parker, Kristen McWow, and Neo. Okay, Uh, I'm there because Neo's in it. No, I'm just playing. Leslie Odom Jr. is in it as well. Michael B. Jordan's in it as well. Method Man's in it. I've never seen it. It'll be an interesting one to watch. I don't know where one may watch it. It doesn't look like it's streaming. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe I just didn't look it up right. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus, which Brandon doesn't have it.
Nope. Football season went terrible. Got rid of it.
What else?
On D
Um,
plus.
we have to see. But yeah, we may watch it. Brandon might choose it eventually.
I may, huh?
You like dogfight movies. Um, but yeah, this was today's episode, Brandon. What do we want the people to do?
Oh yeah. If you like this episode and you want to see more, click that like button, click that share button, click that comment button, click that subscribe. And subscribe to the Mark Out Movie Podcast on YouTube and on Facebook. And Aaron is on TikTok, I think. I am not. I left.
Yeah, I haven't really done TikTok in a while. I'm on it, but it don't really matter. I'm not. I haven't posted anything. I just don't have time to do anything. I don't have time to be funny. For free.
For free. It's all about money for Aaron.
Money. Here we go. Money talk. No. Too soon. But no. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a great weekend. Next week, join us back for Bosco. Whether I pick something good or I pick something terrible, y'all will let me know. Brandon definitely will let me know. But in the meantime, and in between time, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
We are the Mark That Movie Podcast. Thank you for marking out with us here. Have a great weekend.